Yeah, for sure. Moving on to a much more happier thought. Nintendo. So Nintendo recently has disclosed some stuff that me and Greg are pretty excited about. First off, on Twitter, they disclosed what their E3 plans are as on their Twitter account, and I'll post a link in the chat for those who want to check out what the tweet was. But they tweeted out, join us during E3 2018 for tournament coverage, gameplay with Treehouse Live, and a video presentation focusing on Nintendo Switch games coming this year, including Super Smash Bros. And on the picture, it says, first thing it states, it's they have a Splatoon 2 World Championship game or competition happening on June 11th, 3:30 to 6 p.m., so 3 hours. A video presentation, which I'm assuming that's going to be their E3 Direct. It's going to be taking place at 9 a.m. on, let's see, what is it, on June 12th. The Nintendo Treehouse Live is going to be afterwards, or the 3 days of Nintendo, or other days that E3 is happening, of various games. And then Super Smash Bros. Invitational is happening on June 12th, right after the Splatoon 2 tournament. So here's what I'm guessing when it comes to this and Smash specifically, is that, oops, I forgot to start the timer. Is that Smash they're gonna show off the base characters and then the Inklings and maybe one new character in the Nintendo Direct at E3, and then afterwards they'll have the invitational of those characters being played out on stage, and that's, to me, it sounds probably the most logical in terms of like how they're gonna be formatted.
Well, I definitely feel like the reveal of Smash is going to be before the Invitational.
So, and I'll touch about it on the next topic, but like, I'll actually touch it here actually, because one of the things that people were trying to figure out, and I was in the back of my mind, I was thinking like, is the Smash games going to be a port? Is it the real new game? Like, there were clues in the trailer that said that they were or not. And then in that financial results briefing presentation that was released this past week, it detailed that, like, it said in bold right on top of that image of Super Smash Brothers, that it is a new game. So I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, yes.
I did see that. I was like, fucking told everybody, yeah.
Well, there was no indication, or there's no clear indication from Nintendo like if this was a new game or not. So like,
it didn't have to be clear. Here's my thing. There was clear enough indication. It had, it's centralized on the Splatoon kids. I don't know what to call them exactly.
They're Inklings, but yeah, go for it.
And then when she looks at the sign, and then it shows like the silhouette of two characters, which is Mario and Link. It's very clearly Odyssey Mario and Breath of the Wild Link.
Mm-hmm.
Like, guarantee you, Mario is going to have a Cappy attack. Guarantee you.
And for a minute, like, and we had this conversation prior. It's like, for a minute I said, like, it could be just costumes for Mario and Link. Like, they could possibly be just like costumes for those characters.
I think Link is gonna have an entirely different play kit when it comes to one of the big things about Breath of the Wild is the ability to find new weapons and use them.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, they break. Well, Link's gonna be able to do that.
I'll be hilarious.
You're gonna be able to just like press a button. He's gonna pick up a new weapon, use it, and then it'll randomly break. Like, that'll be his thing. People won't like him because of that, but that'll be a thing.
Right.
I personally, dude, I feel like it was pretty clear that it was a new game, and I really hope that, from what I read, that the Invitational is going to be the new game, but they're only going to have like some characters available to play.
I would assume so. They did say, actually,
like 8.
Actually, I did have another article up here from GameSpot.com, written by Eddie Murkich. Smash Brothers for Switch will be playable at E3. Nintendo today detailed its plans for E3 2018. Among the most interesting details is that Super Smash Bros. Title for Switch will will be playable on the show floor during show hours on June 12th to the 14th. You can visit Nintendo's booth at the Los Angeles Convention Center to be among the first in the world to play the highly anticipated fighting game. Those willing to brave, well, it goes on to say the show floor and how it's going to be like crazy, but it's going to be playable at the show floor. So, knowing the fact that it's going to be an actual, now it's official. The fact that it is a brand new Smash. Now begins the fun part. Now begins like who's going to be in it. Which I've always love how they do the trailers, because it's always really cool to see the reveals, and always cool to see like how exactly they're going to fit in the Smash universe. So yeah,
what I'm more excited about is like they're gonna obviously give a release date, and I'm gonna assume later this year for Smash.
That's gonna be
Smash 5.
That's gonna be this. I'm gonna say this is December or November. No, I should take it back. November this year, 2018. It's gonna happen. But,
well, even still, like I think the biggest thing that I think is gonna September. Valera says September.
I would take you up on that bet, Valera.
I just know it'll be fall. Like that's my fall season. But I feel like a lot of like the classic characters that we have known to be in the games will be based off of newer games.
Yeah, agreed.
I feel honestly, dude, don't quote me on this, but we're gonna get Toon Link again. But he's gonna have the power to be a basically it'll be the Link Between Worlds Link.
Okay.
So it'll look like Toon Link, but it won't be, you know.
Right.
Or it'll be that version of Link. They'll call it something else. I'm excited for the third-party characters we might get.
Yeah, that too. I'm very excited to see what we get out of the third-party characters. So here's the thing I'm thinking right now. Because I also wanted to talk about like since we're talking about E3 and Nintendo, like what other potential things they're going to talk about at E3. But my mind of thinking is like when it comes to Nintendo Smash games. And
I actually have an idea of something from E3 that has nothing to do with Smash.
So here's my thinking is like Smash games are, is an awesome game. It brings in different characters from different universes, and can often be used to promote future games. Can
you give me an example on that?
Bayonetta. She came to the Wii U, and because Bayonetta 1 and 2 was on the Wii U. And I
didn't think her addition to me was just because they had Bayonetta 1 and 2 on the Nintendo.
It was that, and also it was also because of the whole voting thing too. And at least when it comes to mine, it's like in terms of like how
actually,
some games.
Valera, on that note about Labo, sorry to interrupt you again, Anthony, but I want to point this out. I actually had the idea for Labo the other day, and I told this to Anthony. I don't think it'll be a character. I think it'll be a power-up, an item you can pick up.
Cloud was added, and there was no Final Fantasy games on the Wii U. That's true. It's very true. The only connection there was the fact that Final Fantasy was released on the Super Nintendo, back in the day. So that was that.
Yeah, I'm just pointing out that characters are usually not added to promote. They're just there because fans really want them to be in the game. And for the sake of this, like with what franchises we've seen being added by different companies, like there's a potential for a huge number of different characters that we could possibly see. Like people have been wanting Goku, and I think that'd be super fun to have in this.
That might be more of a possibility now than before, just because.
I agree.
Yeah,
I wholeheartedly agree.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm happy to hear it's a new game. But something I'm gonna touch on that, because we've been concentrated on Smash primarily for this thing. I really do feel like that we're gonna hear a lot and see a lot about Smash at the Invitational. We're not gonna see much Smash with the Direct. I think their headliner for the Direct. Oh yes, fucking yes, Valera. I think the thing we're gonna see at the end of the direct is a short studio demo. So like it's still in development, but they're going to show some of it. The Switch Pokemon game.
That is true. We haven't heard anything about that game for a long time.
All we've heard is that they're making. That's it.
Mm-hmm. I'm expecting to see Metro Prime 4 in some capacity at E3 since its announcement. Yeah. So we'll see something about that. After several directs, I have a pretty good idea what they're gonna do. Like the other thing they're probably gonna announce is like more third-party support from other game companies switching to porting their games to the Switch. Let's see what else could they potentially announce at E3. I'm trying to think.
I mean, I feel like they're also going to announce the next, like, at least 2 whole packs of Labo stuff.
That's true, yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of potential there for what could be added, and I think a lot of what's going to be added is a lot of their own franchises. Or if it's a surprise thing, it's a franchise we're not even thinking.
Yeah, and also I would put out there, as in chat has said, the interesting move for a 3DS like support, which we'll get in a second, which is I find interesting.
What do you mean by 3DS support?
So did you read the document that I gave you?
I had to scan through because I was busy.
Okay. There's a...
You kind of sent that to me at a really bad time.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so I'll go over that part, but like Nintendo is in full support of the 3DS. Much so with the Switch, which is interesting. Also, before I continue, thank you for the follow, James Snow 420.